Hello everyone, welcome to Home Cooking with me Hema Subramanian. Here are 6 different and delicious recipes that you can try for this Pongal and Sankranti. For the Chakra Pongal, first I'm going to melt the jaggery. For this, take a saucepan, add half cup of water. I've taken 250 grams of jaggery. So you can see the jaggery is melted completely. It's not too thick or too runny. Turn off the stove, keep it aside. For the Chakra Pongal, I've taken quarter cup of yellow Moong Dal, that is pasi purple. Roast it for about 2 minutes on medium flame. The Moong Dal is roasted, keep it aside. For the Chakra Pongal, I am going to cook the rice. First, take 4.5 cups of water. Now the water is beginning to boil. For the Chakra Pongal, I have taken 1 cup of raw rice. This is a 250 ml cup. So I have washed it. I am going to gently drop it into the hot water. Add the roasted Moong Dal. The rice and dal should be cooked till it's completely soft and mushy. So you can see the rice is cooked and the water is all absorbed completely. I'm going to add 1 cup of milk. This is boiled and cooled milk. You can also add coconut milk if you like. Keep the flame on medium and continue to cook. As the rice is cooking and becoming mushy, make sure you keep stirring it so it doesn't stick to the bottom. You can see the rice is cooked, it's become nice and mushy. Now I'm going to strain the jaggery syrup into the rice. After adding the jaggery syrup, let it cook for another 5 to 6 minutes on medium flame till it thickens a bit. To this, add 1 teaspoon of cardamom powder. Mix it well. To a tempering pan, add 1 teaspoon of ghee. Add a few cashew nuts and roast them till they're a nice golden color. Once the cashews turn golden, add the raisins. Now add the roasted cashew nuts and raisins. I'm adding extra ghee here. I've melted 1 tablespoon of ghee. For Medu Vadai, I have taken 1 cup of Urad Dal and soaked it for 4 hours. So you can see they've nicely plumped up. Discard the water from the soaked dal. Don't add too much water at a time. Add very little water and grind to a nice fine batter. Basically, the batter has to be nice, thick and fluffy. You can see the vada batter is nice and fluffy. Now, how do you know that it's light and fluffy? So this is a small test that you can try. So take a little bit of the batter, take a small bowl of water and just drop the batter into the bowl. So you can see it instantly floats. So that is an indication that the batter is right and it's come to the right consistency. So you can see how thick the batter is. Now I've used roughly about quarter cup of water, little at a time, to grind the Urad Dal. So make sure you don't add too much of water and grind the batter because then it can become too watery. So I'm going to refrigerate the batter for about 2 hours. So here is a small tip I would like to share with you. So the reason why I'm refrigerating the batter is because while grinding the batter in the mixer jar, it tends to heat up. So I'd like to cool the batter completely before I start making the vadas. The vada batter has been in the fridge for about 2 hours. So I've taken it out. Now I'm going to season it with half teaspoon of salt. To this add 1 medium sized onion finely chopped. Now you can see I've chopped the onions very fine. 2 green chilies finely chopped. A few curry leaves. Mix everything together. Now if you don't like onions, you can do the vada without the onions. So some of them also add ginger. So if you want, you can also add small bits of ginger. Take some oil for deep frying. Make sure to maintain the temperature on medium flame throughout. So I'm taking a banana leaf to shape the vada. You can also use your palm. Take a small portion of the batter. Dab a little water after you've taken the batter. Gently press it down. Make a small hole in the center and gently slide the prepared vada into the hot oil. The vada takes time to cook, so make sure you're not in a hurry to cook the vada because it can change color very quickly if the temperature is very high. Turn the vada at intervals so there's an even color throughout and the vada is cooked through. Once the vadas come to a nice golden brown color, remove them from the oil and serve it hot with some nice coconut chutney. For the millet pongal, I've taken half cup of foxtail millet, that is Thinai, and half cup of yellow Moong Dal. Wash it gently and pour enough water and soak for about 1 hour. Take a pressure cooker, transfer the soaked millet and dal to the pressure cooker along with the soaked water. So you can see the millet and the dal has already been soaking in about 1 cup of water. Now that's a 250 ml cup. I'm adding another 250 ml cup of water. To this add a pinch of turmeric powder. Add 1 teaspoon of salt. Give it a quick mix. So you can see the dal and the millet is completely immersed in the water. Cook the pongal for 3 whistles on medium-low flame. For the coconut chutney, take half cup of freshly grated coconut, 2 tablespoons of roasted chana dal, add 1 green chilli, add a little salt, pour a little water. The coconut chutney is done, keep it aside. So the pongal is cooked beautifully, you can see it's nice and soft. Next I'm going to temper a few ingredients for the pongal. So for tempering I've taken 1.5 tablespoons of ghee. To the ghee add half teaspoon cumin seeds, 1 green chilli chopped, a piece of ginger chopped finely, 1/4 teaspoon asparagus powder, add a few cashew nuts, add 1 teaspoon of whole peppercorns, add a few curry leaves. Add the tempered ingredients to the pongal. A small tip, in case the pongal becomes too thick, you can always add a little hot water or hot milk to get the right consistency. For the masala vada, first we're going to soak the chana dal. For this recipe, I've taken 1 cup of chana dal. Wash the chana dal, pour enough water and soak it for about 2 hours. After 2 hours, you can see the chana dal is soaked beautifully. So take a little bit of the chana dal and keep it aside. So now we are going to grind the batter for the masala vada. To the mixer jar, add 2 tablespoons of the chana dal first. Add 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds, a small piece of cinnamon and 2 cloves. Next add 4 red chilies, half teaspoon salt. First grind all these ingredients together. Now add the remaining chana dal to the mixer jar. So you can see the vada batter has been ground to a nice coarse mixture. So I have ground this without adding any water. So pulse it a few times and grind the vada batter to a nice coarse mixture. Transfer the vada batter to a bowl. To the batter, add the remaining soaked chana dal, 1 medium-sized onion finely chopped, about 3 cloves of garlic finely chopped, a piece of ginger finely chopped, 2 green chilies finely chopped, a few curry leaves finely chopped, and some chopped coriander leaves. Mix everything together. At this point, you can check for seasoning, and if you do need to add a little bit of salt, you can add. So the masala vada batter is ready. Now let's start making the vadas. Take a little bit of the batter, just roll it, keep it on the other palm, and gently flatten it. You don't want the masala vadas to be too thick, so this way when you fry it, it will be nice and crispy and it will cook through. Take a kadai, pour enough oil for deep frying. Once the oil is hot, gently drop in the vadas. Deep fry the vadas till they are a nice golden brown color. Make sure you deep fry them on medium-low flame. You don't want to keep them on high, because what happens is the color changes very quickly and the vadas will be uncooked inside. So once the vadas have turned to a nice golden brown color, remove them from the hot oil and keep it aside. I'm just going to roast a few cashew nuts and raisins. For this, take a small tempering pan, add 1 teaspoon of ghee, roast some cashew nuts. Once the cashews are lightly golden, add the raisins. Once the raisins plump up, turn off the stove. Next, I'm going to melt the jaggery. For this, take 1/4 cup of water to a pot. I'm adding 150 grams of jaggery. Now if you like a little sweet, you can add a little extra. The jaggery is completely dissolved, keep it aside. Next I'm going to roast the suji or rava. Add 1 teaspoon of ghee. Taken 1/2 cup of suji for this recipe. Roast the suji till it's nice golden in color. So you can see the suji has become nice and dry and it's turned to a nice golden color. I'm getting a beautiful aroma. Now is a good time to turn off the stove and keep it aside. I've boiled 1 liter of milk. I'm going to pour this into the pan. So the milk is just heating up. Now add the roasted suji. Keep stirring the milk while adding the suji. Keep stirring the payasam at intervals so that it doesn't stick to the bottom. Cook the suji. It takes about 5 minutes to cook. Now you can see the suji is cooked well. Turn off the stove. Pour the melted jaggery through a sieve or a strainer. Add half teaspoon of cardamom powder. To this add the roasted cashew nuts and raisins. Mix everything together. In case the suji payasam becomes thick, you can add a little bit of hot water or hot milk to bring it to the right consistency. The suji payasam is done. Serve it hot. First, I'm going to melt the jaggery. For this, to a pot, add half cup of water. To this, I'm going to add half cup of jaggery. So this is roughly about 75 grams. To a bowl, add the chopped banana pieces. For this recipe, I've taken 5 small bananas. Gently mash the banana pieces along with the jaggery syrup. Add half teaspoon of cardamom powder. Add a few coconut pieces. This will add a nice crunch to the appams. Mix everything well. Add 1 cup of wheat flour and 2 tablespoons of rice flour. Now mix everything together. The batter is a little thick, so I'm going to add a little water to get the right consistency. So the batter is done. Now you can see it's got a nice dropping consistency. Heat a paniyaram skillet, add a little ghee to it. Now pour the batter in small amounts to the paniyaram skillet. Once it's cooked to one side, flip it to the other side and let it cook. Cook the banana appams till you get a nice golden brown color on both sides.